red state of Kentucky, so he actually might be more formidable than this shows. Rahm Emanuel, 0.2%. Get fucked. He's the worst of the worst. He hates progressives, and he's like horrible on everything. J.B. Pritzker, 0.1. I'm surprised he's that low. J.B. Pritzker's been saying some of the right things, doing some events, and then none of the above is 3.6%. So, look, Pete Buttigieg being number one, that is a big surprise. It is a big surge. And remember, this is the most accurate pollster from the last election cycle. So, something's happened within the past however many months where Buttigieg has surged to number one. But AOC being number two, she's been number one in other polls. She surged a lot recently. When asked who the face of the party is, AOC wins that by a lot. And then Bernie is number two. And in fact, like the top 3 or 4 that are like way more on the left and way more anti-oligarchy and anti-billionaire. And so that being the face of the party is absolutely good. We want that. We want that. But look, here's my overall takeaway. And you guys know this already, but Democrats, it's two things, right? Democrats need to be all in, anti-fascist, block everything the Trump regime does, and also all in, anti-oligarchy, anti-billionaire, anti-robber baron. There need to be consequences for the Elon Musks of the world and the Peter Thiels of the world and the Mark Andreessens of the world, these people who are destroying our country, looting the treasury in the meantime, screwing over the working class. I'm sorry. They need to be held to account. They need to be charged. They need to be locked up for their crimes. But those are the two things. Anti-fascist, anti-billionaire, that's the core of it. And look, here's the thing. Anybody who doesn't embrace those two things, anti-fascist, anti-billionaire, those are so crucial and so important that I will not be supporting anybody who's not all in on those things. You need to resist to the high heavens, block everything this regime is doing, and also stand for social democracy, be against oligarchy, fight for universal health care, higher wages, higher taxes on the wealthy, right? The list goes on of all the, I mean, we don't need to go through the whole list of the things here, anti-war, et cetera, et cetera. But that needs to be it. In other words, take all of the abundance adjacent candidates. I'm sorry, you got to go. Step aside. I'm not interested. And Pete Buttigieg to this point is probably more in the abundance lane than he is in the anti-billionaire lane. And that I will not abide, because that means you're not fundamentally going to change the status quo. You're not fundamentally going to stand up to everything this regime is doing. You don't see the rot at the core of the system. We need to actually name and shame the real problem. The problem is not immigrants. The problem is not trans people. The problem are the billionaires. The problem are the fascists. Those are the problems. If you can't name and shame that, then I'm not interested, right? So of the people who are up here, obviously, AOC, I would prefer above Pete Buttigieg. Raphael Warnock, I think, is great. I think he should go up this list. Bashir and Pritzker, I think, should probably go up that list. Khanna should go up that list. But I don't know. Unless Pete shows me he's more anti-billionaire, more anti-fascist, I really don't want him being the one. Same with Kamala. No interest in Cory Booker whatsoever. Not much interest in Josh Shapiro. No interest in Gretchen Whitmer. No interest in Newsom whatsoever. So there will be... This will be a dogfight in the primary, and we need to hope that whoever gets through is clear on those two things. Block everything the Trump regime is doing, anti-fascist, anti-billionaire. If you can't embody that, that's the bare minimum, y'all. By the way, final point, I don't even see Tim Walz on this list, and that pisses me the fuck off. Because he's been in a number of polls, and they just left him out of this poll. If he was in this poll, he probably would have been like top 5 or 6, right? And they just left him out. So I don't like that whatsoever, because he's really showing the way. He's the one who's showing ideologically what you have to do moving forward, right? Anti-fascist, anti-billionaire. That's the magic sauce, right? And I don't know. We'll see if Pete can keep it up. But I'm a little worried because I feel like while he's not the best candidate, he might be smart enough to mimic saying the right things and doing the right things. And then we're in for it, right? I could easily see it coming down to AOC versus Pete. I could see Pete getting the edge, and I could see him not being as transformational as AOC would be. So, I mean, these are all conversations for the future, but this is definitely a big change in the polls, especially the fact that Kamala has now slipped all the way to number 3, and now AOC and Pete are above her. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.